Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing sort of a quick review on these TBS 1300 milliamp hour 6S 75C graphene batteries. So these are the 6S batteries from TBS. So now these are 1300 milliamp hour, and they are claiming graphene. If it'll focus down here, it says lots of it, seriously, for the graphene down there. And pretty much the first graphene batteries I ever saw were the Hobby King graphene, and after that so many different batteries come out graphene, and it makes you question if there actually is anything different. But when you see a reputable name like TBS claiming that they're graphene packs, and looking at the size of the pack itself and the weight, which I'll get to in just a little bit, and I think a couple people have torn them apart. Actually is different plates between the cells itself. I forget if they're the anodes or not. There is something different about these, which hopefully should extend their power output and longevity. So let's just get it out of the way real quick and get a weight for these. And now these are not light packs at all. They claim on the website 243 grams, and I get 243 grams right there. So definitely a pretty heavy 6S pack. Here I have the Pyrodrone 1250 6S, and that's about 218 grams. And then we have the China Hobby Line Mini Star 70C 1250 6S here, and that's about 218 grams as well. So they are less capacity, and they are not the graphene, so they do weigh less there. And just real quick, if you do get these batteries, they come extra heat shrunk, and they have this little balance light on it. Let me plug this guy in here. See, they have this little light on there, and don't worry about that. You just cut that off and throw that away. That's just to help with the shipping processes. Let's leave it at that. Alright, so let's take these outside and see how they perform. Alright, so here we have the TBS 6S 1300, and this first pack here was pretty much just me trying to fly it as hard as I possibly could here. You see I had my camera tilted at about 55, maybe 60 degrees, and I'm just trying to the biggest thing here was to see how long the pack actually held out before it started, if it does start, to sag. And basically I should have recorded some audio from this, but it was also hearing the actual RPM that the motors achieve is actually very useful, because it's a quick indication to see just how hard the pack is putting out power. But hopefully you can tell this is really ripping around. It's putting out really nice power right now. And I was pretty much just trying to fly around as hard as I could and see how long or how many milliamps I would pull out of it. This current sensor isn't the most calibrated, but it's within about 5 or 10%. It's not too bad. But really I'm just seeing how the pack and the voltage actually holds up throughout a really hard cycle while I'm pushing it here. So I'll just let the rest of this play out.
Your voice is getting nearer. Heart is pumping, thoughts are running wild. We got a good thing going, while we got our feelings amplified. Staying to the morning, countless hours spending by your side. You look at me, I'm soaring, seeing all the truth behind your eyes. See you, for a moment even hope that I can feel you.
Okay, so just finished up flying the TBS, the 1300 6S there. That was the first pack that was going, pretty much flying it as hard as I could for all out there. If we take it off the quad here, it's pretty warm, but honestly, for how hard I was flying that, my normal batteries that I fly get a lot hotter. So it's a borderline dangerous temperature, but I did fly it down to like 2.4 volts. It kind of dropped off really quickly at the end there, which is sort of a characteristic of 6S and graphene. But in terms of consistent power throughout the flight, it really, really was hauling. I could just tell by how clean the motor sounded and how powerful. This definitely was putting out a lot of juice. It did come down short of the 1300 capacity, but that's probably because I was ripping on it so hard. So now it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to fly my normal Pulse 1250 in a lot easier fashion just to see how much capacity we get out of this. And then I'm going to fly the TBS Graphene right behind it and as close as possible to the same flying as I can. And the current sensor on this quad is calibrated within about 5%. So it's not terribly accurate, but it'll be accurate enough to compare them back to back together for the capacity. So let's do that. And then here we had my sort of efficiency testing, which is pretty much just going to consist of orbiting this tree constantly for a few minutes until I go all the way down to 3.5 volts, and I'll see how many milliamps I was able to draw the pack. It's extremely boring, so I won't make you watch it, but just know this was sort of the methodology. I pretty much just sat there for 20 minutes running batteries around this tree. It sucked. Alright, so here we are back inside after that quick testing to do sort of an overview on these batteries here. So for the test I did, that was sort of the capacity test, just circling around the tree. I know that's not that accurate, but it was used on the same exact quad, same exact calibration for the current sensor, and all the packs here were parallel charged together, so that they should all be at the same starting voltage. I know they were like 4.1, 4.15. They weren't even fully charged or HV charged, so that's why the capacity is less than it could be. But they're equal, so that way I could compare them to each other, which is what mattered for me. So for the capacity part, the Pulse 1250, I only got 900 milliamps out of it. I went till the batteries were resting at 3.5, hovering in mid-flight. However, these packs are old now. They have like 17 cycles on them, and they've definitely been very hard cycles, so I don't really fault them. They definitely have been pretty abused packs. But the TBS, the China Hobby line, and the Pyrodrone are all brand new. That was the first or second cycle on them, so they should be very easy to compare. The China Hobby line only discharged about 1050 milliamp hours, which is not too bad. The Pyrodrone actually discharged the most. I had 1200 milliamp hours out of that, which is surprising. And then the TBS batteries, I got 1100 milliamps out of just circling the tree there. For the flight that I sort of did all out with the TBS, it definitely pulled very, very hard. These packs have a lot of power in them. And literally all the way till I think it went from 3.3 volts to 2.6 volts, like within seconds. I was flying around. I didn't even notice it was going to get that low. I thought I'd be able to do a couple more turns around the tree, and the pack just died. So that definitely is a characteristic of the graphene cells I remember from the Hobby King graphene. So I do think there is some truth to the graphene name. But these packs definitely kept their voltage up without sagging, without me being able to notice the sag in terms of flight feel all the way to the very end. These packs might fly for the same amount of time, or might fly about the same and pull the same, but as you start to get towards the end of 3.5 volts, you're definitely going to notice a sag on these, but I did not even notice on these ones. And once again, remember, these two packs are also brand new, so it's not like these are just brand new and that's why they're better. The Pulse are just, they're getting a little old now, but they're still doing their best. So yeah, in terms of overall pack performance, I thought these two did very acceptable. Once again, 243 grams is very heavy. I could definitely tell that. If we compare it to the Pulse in terms of size, you can see they are a bit bigger, as they are 1300s, and they do have that extra graphene stuff in there, but they're all pretty much the same width there. But the packs pull very hard. And since they are 1300 milliamps and should have a little bit more capacity than other ones, I'm actually going to be planning on running these for the MultiGP International Open team race. Because it's a 24-minute race with 4 pilots, so you do as many laps as you can. So having a little higher capacity battery that's not going to sag until all the way to the very end could be something that's quite useful. Once again, like I said, these are 243 gram batteries, so I don't think these are going to be your race packs that you're going to, your best first to 3 laps or your 2-minute qualifying. They're just really heavy. Although 6S powerful 2007 quad, it wasn't too bad. I definitely didn't notice it, but when it's 30 grams heavier than the Pulse, you can notice it in the turns. It has a little bit more prop wash, etc. So I don't think these are the best straight out race packs, but for everyday flying and sort of bashing and practicing, I think these are a really good option, especially since they're graphene. They should get a lot of charge cycles. Like I said, these Pulse packs are kind of crapping out now at about 18 hard race cycles, so hopefully these graphene packs should last well over 100. That way in the end it's actually a decent bit cheaper. TBS also has the same exact pack in a 4S configuration. I believe that pack's about, I think it's $28, and this 6S version is $38. So it's not the cheapest 6S pack, but these China hobby lines, which are known for being really cheap, are $31. The Pulse, I believe, is 30-something, and the Pyro Drone's about $32. So it's about $5 cheaper than the other packs. But the longevity should be a lot longer with the graphene cells, and just the overall construction, the double heat shrunk, it's very, very thick and durable, and it feels good. And there is little metal plates under there to help protect, so I don't think durability should be any problem there. And it's also using, looks like, 12 gauge wire on the battery leads, which contributes a little bit to the weight. So yeah, it's going to bring us to the end of the video here. Definitely very solid packs and no complaints from me. I'm interested to see how these hold up over the long run, but I have a feeling they'll be pretty good based on my experience with the Turnigy graphene batteries about a year ago. So there will be a link down in the description if you're interested in checking these guys out. Thanks for watching, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.